I actually started this channel because I felt boxed where I was working. I felt as though my corporate job kept me caged like a bird that's meant to fly, that was just finding itself stuck in a place, in a loop, day in, day out. I was trying to make a living and not actually living. And funny enough, now, having quit corporate, I still find myself being stuck in a loop. To be fair, let's go down memory lane real quick. I actually celebrated 35 subscribers back in 2016.
Firstly, my 35 subscribers. Yeah, I only have like 35 subscribers. Guys, subscribe. If you're watching, subscribe, okay?
And I was so excited to be on YouTube because I just moved to Johannesburg and I really wanted to take this YouTube thing seriously. At the time, I didn't know South Africans were gonna ever be monetized. I don't know if they were. I didn't know of any YouTubers who were being paid on the platform. But I loved the idea of going to work, doing my 9-to-5 thing, growing in my workspace, and also filling my own cup when it comes to my passion and the things that I love, which was really getting in the front seat of my life and driving it towards the things I felt I was called to by God. And these things include speaking, encouraging, praying. I believe I'm an intercessor, and I also do believe that He has called me to empower other women in many different ways. Somebody who is meant to fill other people's cups. That's really why I started my channel. I wanted to give back to Yolz in a way that still gives back to others while living out my purpose. And then I cut my hair incidentally in June of that year, 2016. Incidentally, because I actually went to
discount, bought a pair of scissors, and I did it.
I cut my hair and I said this on a video, and that video did not necessarily do the numbers. It didn't go viral, but it definitely reached the right people in an environment and a space and a country that was still very small when it comes to YouTube in particular, and also teaching people while on my own journey, while learning how I do this. So I kind of did both simultaneously, and brands absolutely loved this. And suddenly at the end of 2016, I had multiple streams of income. Those of you who need to catch up on that story, there are tons of videos on that. I shared my corporate journey, how I was growing, interview skills, I think networking, as well as negotiation skills, and all of these things that I was learning in corporate, just how to speak up, lean into where you believe you are called, And somewhere along the line, I think I just stopped. Now, 2018, this is where I decided to leave my corporate job for good. I called my mom and my husband, and I remember my husband saying to me, I'll never forget this, what is the strategy? What is the way forward? What are you going to be doing every day? You are now going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to pursue YouTube full time, but this is now a hobby turning into a job. What does that look like on a daily basis? So I put a plan together, and I'm pretty sure you saw it happening if you've been here since back then, in terms of growth and consistency and just me showing up for myself. I did it. I resigned on that day and I started doing proposals. And I think this was the springboard for everything for me. Because I was coming from a corporate and professional background, I knew how to play the game in this space. So I played the game. I played the game. Any long-term deals that I really, really wanted, I put in the effort of putting proposals together and actually pitching for long-term work in order to sustain myself as well as my household income-wise between 2018, 2019 and going into 2020. But at the time, I just needed a 3-year plan, man. I just needed to know how these years are going to look for me. Should things work out or not, either way, I need to be out of corporate for at least 3 years to know if I'm going back or if I'm going forward. 2020 happened and I just became more recluse. I didn't want to share anymore as much as I used to. I obviously had a child. I shared my baby when he was like 3 weeks old or 6 weeks old here on YouTube. But after 2020, even though I started a new business, Yolz Beauty, which I've actually closed since last year, I did not announce that on here either. Something shifted in the atmosphere. YouTube just wasn't what it was anymore. I still think I probably still have a safe community in you, but I do think widely it just wasn't the same anymore. We just had a sense of community that existed, especially as South Africans and also globally. I think as a network, just YouTube has just changed. The landscape has changed completely, and I think the desire to be viral became greater than the purpose. And somewhere along the lines, I was going through life and I just did not know if this was a platform I wanted to share that part of my life. I didn't know if this was a platform I wanted my life to be of public consumption in any way, good or bad, you know. So I shared parts of my life that I thought would appeal to the YouTube space. But then it drained me. So back to square one. Back to Yolz in corporate who feels caged again. I was no longer free to really share. I was always open about money, but then also it got very confusing. I spoke about journeys and how, you know, it's not about the destination, but about those speed bumps, you know, those pit stops, those highs, those lows. But then I only shared the highs and not the lows. So even me, myself, I was starting to question myself. So I shut the channel down in 2022 and I was very, very depressed. I was just going through a lot, and that was probably the most honest video that I had posted that year, you know, to be fair. I then came back later that year of 2022 and it was a banger. Not gonna lie. I also made my first clean 6-figure deal where I got to also share it with a couple of friends. And then from there, things just kept on going, you know. Our lives improved in a major way, and I don't think I could also share that freely on here because there was this oxymoron. It was ordered chaos to a large extent, and I think that's where my real struggle was on here. How do I share the highs along with the lows and the realities? Because sometimes on social media, and that's what social media just became, man, you can't be too real. You become so unrelatable because you're too real. We don't want to hear that. We'd rather you be more aspirational, you know. And I could be aspirational, but that's not what I'm about. That's not the real Yolz, you know. I also found out very quickly that there were people, and I don't think it was my audience, I think it was people in my life that just did not want us to thrive. Eish, guys, kunzima, because this is real life, you know. But we were growing so well financially. We had recovered from the worst of the worst, you know, from downscaling to moving. But it was hard to catch up mentally from where we were, and maybe a trauma response. And then on top of that, our lives socially were just a little bit weird. Come 2024, I obviously bought the car cash. That also took a turn I didn't expect on social media, took a huge mental knock as well. Something I was celebrating was suddenly just like torn apart by people because, oh, why would you buy a car cash? Your card is going to depreciate, as if it doesn't depreciate when you buy it on credit. But anyway, yes, about to. They will do things to you. So again, I just went back into my shell. And then our marriage just took a huge knock, which I did share on socials. I do have a shorts on here as well. Just sharing that, I don't know if we would have made it to December had we not gotten into a community, locked into a connect group that with just married people who helped us through it, getting a therapist who was using the Imago method to really just get us to repair and reconnect again properly, go back to the things that have been broken, repair that, connect before any argument, before any discussion. Are you okay? Check in, small things like that, in a very practical way of rebuilding and going back to even our childhood traumas to find out what it is that needs healing individually and then obviously as a unit. With all of that, again, another knock last year. I struggle to just come on here and pretend Gucci everything is okay. I would like to believe that I'm the realist when it comes to me and my friends, right? But even I couldn't tell my friends what was really going on. Thank goodness they pray. But there's also a level of, openness that you can have with your friends regarding your marriage. There's also a single-mindedness that you have to have regarding protecting your marriage. So you can only be so open. There are things you should not be sharing with your friends when it comes to your marriage. There are advices you should not be taking regarding your marriage, So that was last year. Coming into this year, my question to myself is, where are we going with this YouTube thing? Do I still want to be here? And let me tell you guys the truth. YouTube used to be the place where I could show up here as myself freely without having to explain why I don't wear nails. Why are your nails not done? They are. They've been done by the Most High King. They are beautiful. I love my nails. I love them just the way that they are. They're strong and I absolutely love them. And it's taken years, especially as a teenager, to even like my hands, the shape of my hands. I used to compare them to my mom. She has the girliest hands, These are battles I've had to fight for myself. Just me alone, And now to have to come on social media and have to explain these things, which are just, why? And then you pack real life trials, tribulations, realness, and you're just like, damn. There's a part of me that still wants to very much empower young women. I love talking about financial independence. Don't you? I don't know about you, but I'm seriously asking this question. I absolutely love talking about money and financial independence and making your own, whether you're married, whether you're single, having your own. Nje noma degree, noma siskolo, noma imali yakho. I love that, and I love these discussions even amongst my own girlfriends. Love it, and I'd love to have that here. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and what you do with it. You know, where am I in my personal journey? I have my own company that has got accountants, financial advisors, and they've helped me with my own knowledge as well. I did study finance and investments. I've got a BCom degree in that, to really set up my business in a way that keeps growing my personal net worth, which is really the aim. That's where I'm at right now. I am in the business of growing my net worth. I've been asked this question before. Are you a millionaire? And I think the reason I've never really answered it is it's twofold. One, I told you guys, there's family members, there's extended family. As people in jail with energies. And friends as well. Ex-friends, friends, people who are just in the environment just to know. Book-wise, net worth-wise, yes, it's locked in. It is illiquid. Okay, we can't get it out, please. That's where I'm at. I'm growing in quiet wealth, you know. January, while we were fasting as well, myself and my husband, were also setting ourselves up for the rest of the year. We do our financial planning for the year, generally at the end of the year, December, and then going into January, we start having all our meetings. We share our accountants, and this year we consolidated our finances and actually have one financial advisor. So even though they're technically separate, so some of our retirement products, you know, our policies, they are separate, but we are using one person to actually grow our bigger picture. So our estate planning and our wills, that's one, and everything else is kind of separate but kind of together, if that makes sense, because it's managed by one person, right? That is where we are at in terms of financial planning and just getting into the year with the right mindset, the right goal setting, and just understanding what we want, where we are, and what we need to do to get to what we really want to achieve at the end of this year. My investment journey has been doing well. We are growing our portfolio. That's where we are financially. Health-wise, we are good. YouTube-wise, I want to share the financial part. I did start a financial page called yolzonfinance, finally. And again, you don't have to join this. I want only people who want to learn about leveling up their personal finance game and how to manage and make as well as keep the money that they make. That's what I just want us to grow that community together. If you're not interested, happy for you not to join. If you are, this is the actual name. So that is where we are. So I want us to be rich in everything, rich in intelligence, rich in growth, because I do believe that the mindset is where we need to conquer first before anything else. The money will follow. The money will come, Sana. That is it from me. I want to know how you've been. I know this was quite the catch up, but I do hope that you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait for us to get into this year with a freshness. Not my freshness, but his, you know, his plans made prevail over your life. And may all that God has in store for you come to fruition this year. Love you guys. Mwah. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and join the Yolz channel family. Bye.